Good evening, everyone. Good evening. As I'm waiting for people to come in, I am right on time. Right on time. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So I'm just going to get started while I'm waiting for people to come on. Welcome to Cultivating Conversations. I am your host, Stacy T. Cultivating Conversations is a podcast where we have thought provoking dialogue about life, love, the pursuit of happiness, everything in between. So if this is your first time, welcome. If you have been rocking with me, what's up? If you are catching the replay, I surely appreciate you taking the time out to stop by Facebook, my Facebook page, or my YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome all. I trust that everyone had a great Thanksgiving holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. I was off last week because it was Black Friday and my beauty business. I design beauty. I had a lot going on with Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. So we did not have cultivating conversations, but I missed you all. I missed you all. And, as customary, I always pray and I ask God to show me or tell me what it is that he wants me to speak about. What is the topic that he wants me to talk about? And just as clear as day, holiday blues. So that's tonight's episode topic, talking about the holiday blues. It's something that I don't think I've dealt with holiday blues as much as I dealt with seasonal depression. And shout out to Gidget Smith. She's a marriage and family therapist. She actually um did a segment on her podcast, Mental Movements, and she talked about it, and I couldn't recognize what it was, but it was something that I went through last year. I was in a really, 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 really bad place mentally and emotionally, because it was the first year anniversary of my mom's death. That was primarily what was going on with me. But the fact that I had to deal with all of that by myself and on my own um, played a part in all of the things that I was going through. So this year, the same thing tried to creep up again, tried to creep up last month in November, and I couldn't put my finger on what the issue was. And I ended up putting, well, it was the Holy Spirit that revealed to me that that's what it was. So I was able to get ahead of it. But that's one of the reasons why, I'm doing this segment tonight. Now let me give two disclaimers. And I'll repeat it again because no one has entered yet, but I need to put this disclaimer out for those who are catching the replay. And if you catch the replay, just hashtag in the comments replay. But two disclaimers. One, I don't, because the title is Holiday Blues Singles Edition. I don't want to give off the idea that this is something that only singles go through. Okay. Anybody is susceptible to the holiday blues because everyone goes through something at some point in their life. Okay. So that's the first disclaimer. This is not only a singles thing, this is something that anybody can go through and deal with. However, from personal experience, it just hits different when you are single. Okay. And that leads me, it's a great segue into my second disclaimer. My second disclaimer is I am not speaking from a clinical standpoint. Okay. I am not speaking from a clinical standpoint. Yes, I'm in graduate school getting my master's degree. It's not in mental health and counseling, even though I am able to counsel. However, I am not coming from a clinical standpoint. I am coming strictly from experience. Okay. And I've said it on my platform before. Each the clinical side and the experiential, I think that's the word, experiential side, they both have their place, um, respectively and separately. If you can have both, meaning somebody that can speak to the book knowledge and the clinical side and the experience, then you've hit the jackpot. Why do I say that? Because it's one thing to sit across from somebody who has been taught about these certain things. It's a whole different vibe when you sit across from somebody who has learned. Okay. So taught doesn't mean learned, but learning comes through experience. Okay. So I'm coming from a place of strictly experience. I'm not coming from a clinical side. And I will always say throughout my episode that if you are experiencing seasonal depression or holiday blues or depression or any of those things that don't sit right with you and make you feel a certain way during the holidays, there's help a lot of, I'm not going to say there's help everywhere, but there's help a lot of places. There are 1-800 numbers you can call. If it's to that point, there's a suicide hotline. If you have somebody to talk to somebody, get help, get therapy, get counseling. It works. Like, gone are the days where counseling and all of those things are taboo. It's not taboo anymore. It's something that is welcomed. It's something that is needed. It's something that's not only going to save your life, but is going to add value to it. Okay. So, we're talking about Holiday Blues Singles Edition. So, and so how do I start this? I've gone through holiday blues. Okay. When I was going through my separation and my divorce from my ex-husband, the holidays were particularly hard because we shared um custody of our children. And I remember the first time when I dropped them off at his house. And this wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a holiday, but it was the fall because it was dark and it was fairly early. That I remember. And I remember after I dropped him off and I gave my kisses and my hugs, I got in my car and I drove around the corner and I parked. I couldn't even drive and I had a complete meltdown because up until that point it was me and the children. I had never had time by myself. I never had time by myself. Hey, D. Adrian. I never had time by myself. And those who have been married and are divorced, you understand, and I've talked about this before, how there is a severing of the relationship. There's a severing of the marriage. When a divorce takes place, there is a tearing, literally like a tearing away of two people. And the person that you are as a spouse, whether it's, a husband or a wife, it dies. And literally, the person that you are as a single again has to be rebirthed, because the person that you was single before married is a completely different single person after you've gotten married and you've been married and you've gotten used to the perks and certain things and so on and so forth. So not only was there a breach in the marriage, but now it was me and my children, and I had a cushion because I wasn't by myself. But then they were with him. And it was only for about a weekend. It was about for 2 days. Shout out to my St. Lucian massive. I'm global, y'all. Every time she comes on, I say I'm global because I am, because she's in St. Lucia. What's up, Justified? Um, so I had a complete meltdown. I had a complete meltdown, and that was the beginning of the reality of I'm alone. I'm alone. Okay. And a lot of singles, people who are single again, they go through this and it's not talked about. Why? Because there's so many layers to breakups and divorces and things like that. And unless you have gone through it, you don't understand the nuances, the little things that happen that seem minuscule in thought, but they pack such a punch in the face to the person that is going through it. Um, so that's my little tidbit, about that. So the holidays were hard for me. I remember the first Christmas I spent by myself because they were with their father. Um, it was hard. I was at home by myself and I was just sitting around like, okay, so this is life. Like, what is it? Like, what am I like? What? And that's when the thoughts of it would be nice to be with somebody. It would be nice to be in a meaningful relationship. That's when those thoughts come, especially when you are by yourself, because we know that isolation is a breeding ground for the enemy to come and just try to plant things in your head, and it just becomes a mess. Okay, so that's part of my I mean, I have many more experiences, but that's part of my experience of um the start of the holiday blues. Like I'm single again, like another holiday. And for those who are single or divorced and you go around your family, my family is pretty small, so we didn't really get together like that. But I can imagine those who are single again, and we see the memes on social media, right? Like, stop asking people, well, when you gonna get married? You ain't got a man, you not settling down with no woman yet, you still running the streets, when you gonna have children? Like, it becomes annoying and frustrating, and I can imagine those who are single that have to be in those spaces with um family members and even friends. Okay, so that is the main reason why I wanted to tackle it from a single standpoint, because when you are dealing with it with a spouse, and I think next week we're going to tackle the holiday blues, the couples edition, because it's real. It's real because okay, here's I'm gonna go veer off a little bit, because the truth of the matter is there are married people who are living a single life. And I'm not necessarily talking about like my lovely couple, my brother and sister, who are deployed in two different states and things like that. I'm talking about literally couples who are married, and the husband is carrying on like he is single, and the wife is living like she's a single parent. That's another example of how the holiday blues can come, because there's a lot of stress and anxiety, but I'm going to get to that now because it's already 9:13. Okay, so the holiday blues, what is the holiday blues? The holiday blues brings on painful reflection. So especially if you are single, painful reflection of, somebody that you was in a relationship with and you're not in a relationship with them anymore. If you're single, and painful reflection of a bad childhood that you had during the holidays, and you don't have a buffer or a distraction to distract you from any childhood traumas around the holidays, and now you have to go at it alone. Or you're single again, meaning you're divorced, and the holidays bring this feeling of melancholy, because you're supposed to be trimming a Christmas tree and having the mistletoe, or, going out or doing this. Maybe you took yearly trips during the holidays. Maybe you were proposed to during the holidays. Like, there's certain milestones and things like that. And now you don't have that anymore. So painful reflection can bring on the holiday blues. Okay. Sadness from the painful reflection, obviously. Loneliness, if you don't have anybody to to be with. And last year I think we all, if you didn't have the holiday blues, or excuse me, you're single and you would have, like, your friendsgiving, or like, your friend holiday party. We couldn't do any of that last year. So I'm pretty sure that like holiday blues like spiked up. But the loneliness when you're single, the loneliness, you don't have anybody to sit under a Christmas tree with, or watch, the Hallmark, movies, and did I say trade? No, I didn't. Trade Christmas gifts. Like you don't have any of that. Okay. And then loneliness kicks in, anxiety. Okay, not only are you single, but you have a lot going on. You may be an entrepreneur. You may be, you have some financial situation going on. You may have a family member that's sick. You have anxiety because you have all of these things that you have to handle by yourself, all of these things that you have to handle by yourself. So now you have anxiety because you got all of these things, all of these moving pieces. And it's not like you have somebody that is there to kiss you on the forehead, give you a hug, and be like, what do you need? What do you need me to do? Or if I can't do anything to help you, I just want to let you know that I love you and you're great, and you're gonna get through this. You don't have that, okay? That can bring about anxiety. And all of these things bring about depression. Okay, so that's what, in a nutshell, and I'm sure that there are other scenarios, but that's what the holiday blues kind of like looks like. And those variables can equate a holiday blues. All right. Now here are some signs that you may be dealing with holiday blues. Okay. And I'm specifically talking to my singles. I'm talking to those who are single. I'm talking to those who are single again. I'm especially talking to those where this is the first year or the first couple of years where you find yourself by yourself. Okay. It's not a joke. It's not a game. It's really, really not a game. So I'm especially talking to you because I want you to think critically about the signs that I'm going to um list, and really think about if this is who you are and this is where you at right now. Okay. So signs of holiday blues. Changes in your appetite or weight. Okay, is your weight fluctuating? Either are you losing weight, or are you an emotional eater? Because we know that when trauma and when anxiety and when depression and when those things come, it doesn't feel good to our bodies. So we try to throw it off by doing something that's going to substitute for how we feel. But whatever we do to substitute how we feel is only going to be a smoke and mirror. So some people who are single, serial daters, or you trying to sex everything that's moving, or you're in inboxes, or you're looking at certain images on social media, or you shop a lot. You shop a lot because you feel like the more things you can buy yourself, the better you feel about yourself. Um, what else? Um, Drinking. So those are the things that you can do to kind of circumvent, but you can also eat a lot. You can eat a lot of sweets. It feels good to eat. It feels good to be full. Or you don't have an appetite at all and now your weight is fluctuating, okay? Changes in sleep patterns. Now, I'm not talking about when the Holy Spirit wakes you up. For those of you who are believers, I'm not talking about when the Holy Spirit wakes you up and puts somebody on your mind to pray. I'm talking about a restlessness in your sleep, like borderline insomnia. Because when you lay down and you close your eyes, you may be asleep, but you're not resting. Therefore, you're not really sleeping. So then you wake up, or anything wakes you up. So your sleep patterns, you, instead of you getting 8 to 9 hours or 7 to 8 hours of sleep, on average you're getting 3 or 4 because you're going to bed late, because or you lay down and your mind is just racing so much that you can't go to sleep. Okay. These are some of the signs that you may be dealing with holiday blues. Depressed or irritable. So you're in a depressed or irritable mood, especially if you have children. Check yourself. And I'm not saying it like check yourself. I'm saying check your mood. Um, because I've been guilty of that. When I'm not feeling a certain way. What's up, fam? When I'm not feeling a certain way and my children can do something and I'm just like, look, like I can't, like, just, and they didn't even really say anything. It's just that I'm irritable and I'm moody because I have all of these things in my head that I'm trying to figure out, and I don't need anything else. Okay. You're irritable or you're moody. And if you're single and you're dating, okay? Because when I talk about single, I'm talking about single as in unmarried. So if you're single and you're dating somebody, it would be good for you to pause and check that, because you can be going through holiday depression from a previous relationship that you was in, that you don't even realize that the holiday is triggering you, and now the person that you're currently with now is paying for something that happened during the holidays with somebody else that has nothing to do with them. Okay, so I don't want to leave that out and just automatically um make it where you don't have anybody in your life. Okay. um Other signs of holiday blues: difficulty in concentrating. You walk in one room and you like, what did I come in here for? Or you're trying to do something. If you're in school, you're trying to write a paper and you're sitting there just looking at the screen like, I don't know what's happening right now. Okay. Difficulty concentrating. Feelings of worthlessness or guilt. Feelings of worthlessness or guilt. Here's another holiday that I'm not with anybody. I had 330 days to be with somebody or be in a relationship. And every time I tried, it fell to the ground. And now here it is, another holiday, another Thanksgiving, another Christmas, another New Year that I'm spending by myself. What is it about me? Is it that I'm not desirable? Nobody wants me. Like, your mind just goes like in five different directions. Okay. And then you start feeling guilty. You start feeling worthless. Like, why does this keep happening year after year after year? And I see people getting married and getting engaged. And, this one then had five boyfriends and I can't even keep one. Or he stay having somebody on his arm and I'm trying to find the right woman and I can't understand. Like, and then you just start questioning yourself, and that can lead to holiday blues, because now you feel like, the summertime came, Valentine's Day came, all of these holidays came, but it's something about this time of the year that now all of a sudden is like, well, wait, why don't I have somebody? Okay. You're feeling more tired than usual. And why are you feeling more tired than usual? Like I said, because which one was it? Number two, your sleep patterns, because your sleep patterns are off. So now you're tired. You're tired. And sometimes you can lay down for 8 hours and not rest. And then your mind, do you know how much? And I should have looked this up. It has to be something scientific where the way that your brain works, when your brain is constantly moving and moving and moving and moving and moving, you're thinking about this and that and this and that, it has to do something to your body where it just makes you tired. And I know this because that's me. Like, my mind is always going, to the point where at one point, like, I just have to sit down. Like, I just need to, like, not think and not do nothing, because my body is tired, because my mind is just like doing too much. Okay. Um Another sign of holiday blues is that you're tense, you're worried, or you're anxious. So I was talking to my friends today, and I was talking about how um for 2 nights in a row, I've had this really bad pain in my neck. Really bad pain. Now, I do need new pillows and I do be sleeping crazy, I'm sure. But I have the pain in my neck was so bad that it woke me up 5 o'clock yesterday morning. It was so bad where I was crying and I was praying and I was pleading, and it was bad, and I still have the pain, but it's not that bad, but I just could not understand where that pain came from, and one of my friends said to me, "It's probably stress. It's probably stress." And it probably is, because for me, all of my stress is from my shoulder blade to my neck. That's where I keep my stress. That's where it, like, my body tenses up. So when my back is hurting, um I know that I'm stressed. Okay. What Serena says, raise it lay down. Physically, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. Holiday blues can come from just grieving a loss, a relationship that no longer is, the loss of a loved one, child, except they all hurt. Yes. And when you have multiple, like last year, 2019. 2019, was it a grief? Maybe it was. I was grieving a relationship, and I was grieving the death of my mom at the same time in 2019. In 2019. And then last year I was grieving again, because grief doesn't really end, you just learn how to deal with it, and it was the 1 year anniversary of my mom's death, and I was grieving that, but I was also lamenting because, to be quite honest, and I'm gonna be transparent on here because who gonna check me? um I was like, why do I keep having to carry all of this by myself? Like, it's tiring to carry all of this by myself. And then when you meet somebody to carry the load and then they drop you, you have to not only pick yourself up, but you have to pick back up everything you've been carrying, and it gets heavy because you're already tired. Okay, you're already tired. And I think that that's a really good and accurate depiction of holiday blues when people are grieving multiple things, because we know that the grief of a death is not only a physical death, as in somebody leaving the earth, but it is the death of a relationship, especially the death of a child. My God, just that's a whole thing in and of itself. Um, and grieving the death of a friendship or a relationship. Um, yeah, multiple losses is a recipe for disaster. It really comes to fruition between January and March. Unfortunately, that is when there is a spike. Really? In January and March? I thought it was the holidays where there was a spike in suicide attempts. Wow. January and March. I had no idea. Okay, well, that's good to know. That is great to know. Um Yeah, because so what is that called? Because um when I was doing my research, it said that SAD, which is seasonal, I don't remember what the A is called, but seasonal depression, it said that it typically starts in September and lasts, well, it can last past the holidays. Whereas the holiday blues typically starts in November and December, but it kind of ends in December and things kind of settle out in the beginning of the new year. Excuse me. I need some water because I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute. Okay. Um so the causes. I think I kind of went through the causes. Lack of sleep, stress. So another, to add a layer to that, if you're an entrepreneur, and this really hits home for me, because this season, and I learned this last year, this season just wipes it attempts to, because I'm not going to claim it, it attempts to wipe me out. Okay, my mom got sick October 18th. She Yep, she died November 6th. So now we're coming into November. So we're coming into the beginning of the entire holiday season. Okay. So now I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with all of that by myself. And I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, so for those who are entrepreneurs, it can take on a whole nother load, especially if you are a product-based entrepreneur. And we all know, if you're an entrepreneur and you are a product-based entrepreneur, you know how important this season is. The holiday season, you want to get your small business Saturday, you want to get your sales, you want to do your gifts and all of those things. And if you're not careful, the lack of sleep and the anxiety and the pressure that you put on yourself can lead to holiday blues, because you just have so much going on, but to you still want to enjoy the holiday season, but it's hard to, because who am I enjoying it with? I'm doing all of this stuff. Who am I enjoying it with? And that's when the reality hits for some people, for a lot of people, for a lot of singles. And a lot of singles are not going to say that, but I'm telling you, it's what happens. Okay. Um, Financial stress, and this can be across the board, not only like singles but couples as well. But when you are single and you have to handle all of your financial obligations, and you have children, and it's the holidays. Now look, we know that Jesus is the reason for the season, and we know that it is not about gifts and breaking the bank and doing all of those things that mean nothing, because we always say this, like, we don't know when Jesus was born. He didn't want us to know. It's a pagan earthy holiday, whatever. The fact of the matter is, it is still a holiday. It's a time where we celebrate the birth of Christ. It's not, and this is Stacy speaking, it's not about knowing when he was born, but it's the fact that he was born. Because if he wasn't born and grew older and died and rose, there would be no remission of sin and we wouldn't be here. So it's not about trying to figure out or argue when he was born and the fact that we don't know he was born, but the fact that we celebrate that he was born. So we want to celebrate. And if you're stressed and you're strapped for cash, and you have children, it's not about wanting to buy for a lot. Okay. It's not about Air Jordans and wanting to, you know, have a beautiful tree to post on the gram and social media. It's about just wanting to be thankful and grateful. Okay. I have a Christmas tree now. This is my first Christmas tree I've had in like 4 years. I think my last Christmas tree was in 2017. Was in 2017, because in 2018 I had to move out of my apartment. I was homeless. I was living with my mom and my brother, and there was no tree because there was no room because we was there. And then in 2019, my children and I were separated. So for Christmas in 2019, we was in Atlantic City. That was the first Christmas that I actually spent like somewhere else. Now, I would have rather have been on a beach or on a cruise for Christmas, but I couldn't afford it. So somebody gifted us with a timeshare for down in Atlantic City. No tree, no gifts, no nothing. And I cried. I cried because I'm like, what in the world is happening with my life? Like what is going on? So this year, and then last year was the first year we was in our place, and because I was going through the seasonal depression, I didn't do anything. I didn't have any sales. I didn't sell anything. Not one. When I said I didn't sell not one thing, not one body butter balm, serum, nothing. I didn't have the money to do anything with, and I didn't feel like doing anything. I cried, and then I caught COVID. Like, what? So this year, I want to celebrate. So I got a tree. I got a tree. Now, I don't know what's happening past that. God is in control, but I'm in my own place. We are happy. This is a place of peace, and we have a tree with lights on it, and it's gorgeous. And I'm happy. That's what a lot of people, most people want. They just want peace, and they just want to be happy with the basic things. Like we want, like, yeah, I would love, some stuff, but at the end of the day, just basic things. And when you are single and you don't have anyone, and it doesn't look like you're gonna have anyone, and you're dealing with all of these stresses, and your back is against the wall financially, and you have children, it's a lot. It's a lot. And if you're going through a divorce, especially in the first couple of years, when you were supposed to be planning your life with your husband and doing so much, and now here you find yourself by yourself, it's hard. It's hard. And I want to let anybody who is watching this, and anybody who is going through, please know that I understand. And I'm telling you from experience, as sure as this hat is black and red, you can survive the holidays. You will survive the holidays. Okay? It is a phase. It came to pass. Okay? And we're going to talk about how to um how to survive it, because it's about surviving, and not only surviving but thriving. That's what I should have. I think I'm gonna have to edit the title. It's not only about surviving, it's about thriving. Okay, you can survive and you can thrive, um and be single. Okay, and Serena, that, and see, that's not my area, but that is such, that's a whole nother thing. going through Going through it, and having to tend to your own care. Who doesn't want, and here's the thing, and I say this all the time. I say, well, okay, not all the time, because that's a reach, but I say this a lot. um I Okay, I don't say this a lot. Maybe I say it a lot when I talk to myself, because I be talking to myself. I have great conversations with myself. Anyway, um, I always say that um I hate when people downplay when a single person expresses their desire for a relationship. You good and married. You good and married. And somebody just, I'm not talking from a standpoint of being thirsty McGirsty. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just honestly just saying, like, I'm looking forward to being in a relationship, having a boo, this and the third, and somebody that's married, like, yeah, but when you get married, and then you're gonna have to deal with this, and you're gonna have to deal with that. Okay, and you deal with it. Okay, and you deal with it. Is it like trying to downplay, like, enjoy your singleness? And yes, you should enjoy your singleness. I am a proponent for enjoying your singleness. However, when you get sick, you got somebody there to help you. You got somebody to help with the kids. Okay, it's a whole nother ball game when you have to deal with an illness. That's all. And thank you, for Serena, for pointing that out. Thank you so much for bringing that to the forefront, because that's another layer to add. When you and then you have to deal with the hospital bills, you have to drive yourself to and from um your appointments, and you have to get your medication, you have to cook for yourself. It's a lot. It's a lot. And justified, yes. And yeah, so that's the other side of it. That's the other side of it, that um that's the other side of a single or a married person saying to a single, like, not to whatever, like, you want to be married, but you don't want to just be in anything. Because the absolute worst feeling is to be married and be feeling like you're single. The worst feeling, the worst, where you are full, two rings, a license, certificate, all of the nuts and bolts of marriage. Even, dare I say, posting on social media just for the sake of, showing face. But you're completely living a single life, and you're lonely, but you have a person, but you're lonely. I'd rather be by myself than to be with somebody and feel like I'm by myself. It's not worth it. So that is the other side of it, singles. If anybody that's single and you desire and you desire and you desire, there's nothing like, I'd rather deal with me and me than have to look at you and deal with me because you ain't dealing with me. Like, what? Um yeah, and I would encourage you, Serena, to keep, you know, keep trying to form your tribe. And I know that it's easier said than done, but I think that, you know, we let me get into how to, 6 ways. Do I have six? I think it's seven. 7 ways to beat the holiday blues, to survive and thrive. Because I think I have some tips is going to help with all of this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Like you got all this stuff to say, and it's like, but you not married. You have no idea. You have no idea. Like, yeah, if it was me, but it ain't. But it ain't. It ain't. Stay in your own lane. Stay in your lane. And that's the thing. It's coming from a person who's been on both sides. Who's been on both sides. I've been married for more than 5 years. Like, I did the marriage thing, and I did the single thing, and I'm doing the single again thing. And this is what I say to people who are single. Like, look, marriage is not a game. It is not a game. It is not about the proposal and the ring and the dress and the bridal shower, and he put a ring on it, and all of this. It's not about that. It is a ministry. That was real ugly. It's a ministry, because those vows, and I always say, those vows are going to kick in. And when they kick in, are you going to be in it for the long haul, or are you going to bail out because this is not what I signed up for? Yeah, it was. It was. So that's why I did the whole Successfully Single series, so that we can deal with ourselves first before we want and desire to be in a relationship. The grass is green because there's manure. Yes, straight manure. um Listen, it really is. It really is. I mean, I think that, a praise break is deserved for every single person who is single now. You're single now because you're supposed to be. If the person that you was with was your person and was supposed to be with you, and y'all was supposed to be in a meaningful relationship, in a marriage, then y'all will be together. And the fact that you're not is probably because they were not. And you should be happy about that, because there are a plethora, I say a plethora, of marriages and people that, that are in marriages where they're smiling, but behind their teeth, they're like, I knew then what I know now, honey. Oh, getting out of here. And at that point, it's kind of too late. It's kind of too late. Um, it's just kind of too late. So seeing what you're saying, yeah, yeah, and you know what, same, and yeah, I totally get it. And the important thing is not to dwell on those who had to leave, not to dwell. I It's a slippery slope, because to be honest, like I've done some dwelling because I was pissed, because my thing was I trusted you and you just was trash. Um but I have but the thing is that they had to go. They had to go because for me personally, this is me talking about Stacy, because where God is taking me, even where he has me now, those people couldn't stay. Where he took me in 2019, when I got licensed as a minister, they couldn't be there. They could not be there. Where I'm at now, where I'm going, they couldn't be there. And I have my tribe, and I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I promise you, I love them. Whereas it's not even worth mentioning those who had to leave. They had to leave because they had to leave. What's your random thought? Mm, yeah, because marriage is a ministry. Everyone is not built for marriage. Everyone is not built for marriage. You know, so my ex-husband, right? And I can talk about this because like him and we're amicable, we are cool, we are in a good place. I wrote a whole book, not trashing or anything like that, but we're good. So this is not like um hot off the press news. Um when we got married, he did it because it was the right thing to do according to him, right? But it wasn't something that he was prepared for. He was doing it because in the church, this is what you do. I had gotten pregnant. So you get her pregnant, you make an honest woman out of her, you get married. And that's what he thought he needed to do. And he did it, but he wasn't built for it. And we didn't have any counseling. I was pregnant. We went to Jamaica, got married, came back, started living life, and started living life. Like life started happening. And it was probably a year into the marriage. And it was like, well, I can't. But we ended up staying married for a long time until he couldn't take it anymore. And he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And because he wasn't at that time, I can't speak for him now, but at that time, with us being in our mid 20s and then late 20s and early 30s, he just couldn't. What's up, Lawrence? He It just wasn't in him. It just wasn't in him. He wasn't built for it, and he didn't realize it until he got into it. And I am grateful that, because he knew he wasn't built for it, that he cut me loose. This is what happens when you free. You can just say stuff and it be like he cut me loose because there are some marriages where the man is a straight punk and he doesn't want to lose the comfort of having the woman at home. So he'll have the woman at home to have that safety net for when his well is dry, but then he'll be out here shaking and sticking and moving. Straight punk. If you're not built for it, you're not built for it. But it would behoove you to figure that out before you get married. Before you get married, before you marry the person, you make sure that this is something that you want to do and this is the person that you want to do it with. Don't go through all of the rigmarole of it, just no. But this comes with unknowing. This comes with unknowing who you are and what you want. And yes, I was hurt. Yes, I was devastated, but he told me the truth. And that's what it was. Or he told me his truth, and that's what it was. And I'm grateful because I could have been in a situation where I'm not an advocate for divorce. I'm not an advocate. I'm not saying that, oh, if it don't work, then leave. I'm not saying that. So I'm not saying that. Okay. I tell anybody that is considering, I'm like, listen, try to find something that mustard seed faith. Try to find something worth salvaging the marriage because divorce is not for the faint of heart. It is not. Okay. It is not. I digress because I have 9 minutes. Okay. Ways to beat the holiday blues. Number one, okay, accept the holiday invitations. If you are invited somewhere, go, especially now. Okay, if you feel safe, and if it's COVID safe and things like that, because we got all this other stuff going on. If you're invited somewhere, go. Go and enjoy yourself. Can I tell you how many weddings I went to since being divorced? Can I tell you the I went to a wedding the same year everything broke apart in the relationship I was in. Nobody expected me to show up. Nobody knew where I was because I was like, I'm out of here. Not out of here like I'm committed suicide, but I was like, I'm just gonna lay low. But I went to my in-laws marriage renewal, married 50 years. My ex-husband's parents, I went to their wedding. I did my ex-mother-in-law's makeup for her wedding like 3 months before my whole world fell apart. And it was a whole lot of foolishness. And I went to that wedding by myself. And the looks on people's faces was like, yo, I can't even believe. I can't even believe. Now that's a lot. Okay. That's a lot. What I'm saying to you is that you get invited somewhere for the holidays, don't stay in the house. Go. See if you can find somebody single to go with. Go. Enjoy yourself. Please go and enjoy yourself. Go and enjoy yourself. Okay. That's how you can come back. Because if you sit in the house by yourself and you're looking at the walls, you're constantly turning the TV channel, you're walking from the kitchen to the couch and you're eating, go somewhere. Okay. If you're invited, go. You want to break that down for me, Justified? I need the breakdown to that. What does that mean? Okay. Holiday blues. Surviving surviving the holiday blues. Number one, accept the holiday invitations, right? Number two, make a gratitude list. Okay. Make a gratitude list. Shift your attention to what you do have. Okay. So get a piece of paper, make a list from 1 to 20, and make a gratitude list. Guarantee you have 20 things that you're grateful for. Guarantee. Okay. The first 8 should be all about you. Okay. You gotta I should have did this list. Maybe I'll do it and I'll post it. I'll do a gratitude list. But make a gratitude list because as it is, of course, the enemy ourselves, we will highlight the bad things because typically the bad things is what we see, right? That's all we see. We see the bad things because they're ever present. The bills, you know, the lack of this and that and the third, whatever we see on social media, we can find a million things to complain about. What are you grateful for? So make a gratitude list. Okay. Number three, focus on other important relationships. Okay. Focus on other important relationships in your life. So reconnect with friends and family. So, like for Serena, you have some people that had to drop off, but who are those? And not only Serena, like everyone that's watching, who are the ones that you are cool with? Like I try to periodically um get out to eat, excuse me, and go out to eat with my friends, with some of my friends, like some of my high school friends, my childhood friends, to try to get together, go out to eat. My college friends, my besties, we Marco Polo, we set time to FaceTime, to reconnect. Like we and here's the beauty of it. In the 30 plus years of friendship that we had, we just started doing this, and I think it was because of COVID. But prior to that, we wouldn't speak for months, and then we would end up speaking, and then we will catch up. But now, because we're understanding the value of life and how short life can be, we are more present in each other's lives. So reconnect with friends and family, okay? Because the thing is that we're hardwired for connection. So we can't sit here and while be single and this and the third and so on and so forth. We were built for connection. God said in Genesis, it is not good for man to be alone. It's not good for man to be alone. And I think is Ecclesiastes is either 3 and 12 or 8 and 12, where it talks about it's the scripture that talks about a three-stranded cord is not easily broken. But the scripture before that, it talks about like how one person can't fight for themselves, but two people can fight together. But a three-stranded cord, meaning that if it's two people and God in the midst, then it's not easily broken. It's less likely for those two individuals to be broken, and surely with them being together be broken because God is in the midst. Okay. So number one, accept the holiday invitations, go out, get out and have fun. Two, make a gratitude list. Make a list of 1 to 20 and list all of the things that you are grateful for. Three, focus on other important relationships. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. We need a meeting because I need that. I need that. Okay. Number four, do something charitable. Okay. Do something charitable. Doing kind acts of compassion releases oxytocin, which gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling of love and feeling like you've accomplished something because you made somebody else happy. So do something charitable. Um, you can go to a food pantry. You can deliver some groceries for an elderly. You can call an elderly person. I can't express to you like some of the elders, the older women, the elderly of my church, like they'll call, they're actually better. I need to be better with calling them, but they'll call me, and just spending 20-30 minutes on the phone with them just brightens up their day, because I took time out of, as they would say, my busy schedule to talk with them, because they may not have a lot of family to talk to. They may not have a lot of family to come visit them because of COVID. And that's something charitable. So I'm not saying that you have to go and try to find world peace or go to a cancer hospital, or I mean, if you can, that's great. If your heart can take, like I don't think I could do that, because I start crying and carrying on because I'm very emotional. But I digress again. Do something charitable, okay? Um, Number five, take the pressure off yourself for meeting someone. Challenge the validity of your thoughts. I'm going to say that again. Take the pressure off. It's 9:59. My children about to call me. Take the pressure off yourself for meeting somebody. Challenge the validity of your thoughts. Challenge yourself when your thoughts try to tell you that you should be with somebody, that it's going to be another holiday, that you're going to be lonely, that you're never going to find love, that nobody's going to want you, and that all of your friends are out and doing X, Y, and Z, and you're home by yourself. Challenge your thoughts to say, like, you know what? Yeah, I am by myself, but I'm working on myself, and I'm going to continue working on myself. I'm going to shift my thought process of not having somebody to praying for my future spouse while I wait for God to bring us together. Because the fact of the matter is, if they have not materialized yet, it's because you're probably not ready. And that's something that we don't want to necessarily, mm, probably not ready, or they're not ready for you. So pray. Or like Dwayne, my brother Dwayne was saying, everyone is not fit for marriage. So are you really fit for it? Is this something that you really, really want, or do you want it because everyone else has it? Because the worst thing you can do is go into a marriage and just mess up somebody's life because they're over here taking vows and wanting to be with you, and you over here playing. Sorry, the hood almost. Like, don't play. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Either you're going to be all in or you're going to be all out. I digress for a third time. Okay. Number 6. No, number 7. No, number 6. Okay, these are my notes. Number 6, focus on the future. Focus on the future. And I'm not talking necessarily about a future with somebody. Focus on the future. Okay. We have 28 days. 8 3 is 11. Yes. We have 28 days left to 2021. And 2022 is coming. I do not believe in doing vision anything in 2022 for 2022. I do not understand why people have vision board parties and things like that in January. And I understand that you don't want to do it because of the holidays, because everyone is busy, but in my calculations, you should be planning in 2021 so that when 1/1/21 hits, you take off running and starting to execute or work through the plans to execute what you're going to do in 2021. If you wait until January 15th, you've already wasted 15 days that you could have been. It doesn't make any sense to me. So while you're sitting there and your mentals are trying to go somewhere and do whatever, plan for your future. What do you want 2022 to look like? How are you going to work on yourself? What are you going to do so that you can be ready for that suitable partner when they come, so that you can recognize them or recognize when they're not? Whatever. What are you going to do? Focus on the future. Okay. Write it down. Do your vision board now. Like, start now. I have a whole planner that I haven't written in yet, but it's okay. I'm gonna get it done. I'm starting to plan, but I got some stuff in 2022. Let me have you up so I can start teasing y'all about that. But anyway, um, I'm starting to think about 2022 now. It's December 3rd. Like, you have time. Shift your focus to think about the future and not where you are right now, because the whole idea is not to stay where you are, especially if it's not in a good place. Yes. Yes. Because honestly, you should be in June looking at what you put on your vision board to see where you are. Are there, like, I looked at my vision board. And some of the stuff I was like, okay, it still hasn't happened, but it's going to happen. And then there were some things that I had to take off, and some things I had to add on my vision board, because what's the purpose of doing it if you're not going to go back to it and look at it and check to see like where you are? Okay. Number 7, always, 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 always self-care. Self-care. Take care of yourself, not only your mentals. Like, try, and I'm talking to myself. I am talking to myself. I just got a lyrical action from one of my friends today because I almost went down this rabbit hole and she read me for filth. And I love her and I appreciate her for it because she snatched me right back to where I needed to be from a place that could have been detrimental to everything I'm doing right now. Like everything, okay? Um Self-care, okay? Um do something. If you need help, you can go to www.idesignbeauty.com and get you some smell goods and some I'll take you to the spa with my eucalyptus and spearmint, or I could take you to the tropics with my tropical fruit smoothie, or you can be smelling like a whole snack with my brown sugar polish. Um uh yes. Yes, 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 yes. She gave me a lyrical lashing. She did. And I needed it. I needed it because I have too much going on right now. Like right now, I have too much going on right now for my brain to be going left. Too much. And she was like, get yourself together. You're making me angry. Stop. And I was like, okay, well then I guess I'm gonna stop. And it was what I needed, but you need friends like that. Okay. So this concludes the holiday blues. That's right. That lavender. Can I tell you? All right. This is a shameless plug. It is. I had been working feverishly to get my store together. And I came home one night last week and I was so tired. And I don't typically use my own stuff, but I use it. Like I'll take the leftovers if like I'm making an order and like I have overflow and I'll put it in a jar and I'll put it in the bathroom so me and my children, won't be ashy. Cause how are you having a whole beauty brand and you out here ashy? That's not gonna wait, I'll go back to that Madagascar. So I took a hot shower. I put on that lavender and rosemary mint body balm, and that joint is that it got some mojo because when I tell you I could not keep my eyes open, I could not keep my eyes open. I slept so well. I slept so well because I just felt like balanced and centered and just calm. Okay. Now, the Madagascar, that's a whole nother vibe because I've had some married women tell me that they've used Madagascar and I was like, TMI, don't say no more. You're welcome. I don't want to hear anything else about you and your husband because it's nasty. Because I know y'all, so I don't want to hear it. You're welcome. So Madagascar is so if you married, all I'm saying is, sisters, you may want to get some Madagascar. And it is unisex, so men can wear it, but it just hit different when a woman wears it. Baby. Yeah. So anyway, that concludes my rant. That concludes my rant. So I have a couple of announcements right quick as it is 10:09. So holiday market. So my beauty brand, I Design Beauty, is going to be a part of this holiday market that is happening in downtown White Plains starting on Sunday from 11 to 7. It runs from December 5th through December 19th. I am running the pop-up space in the store, and I will be one of the 30 vendors that's going to be vending 15 days. I'm not all 30 vendors in one day. Like it's going to be 30 vendors within a span of 15 days. I'll be there for 14 days. So, if you're in the Westchester area, if you're in the New York City area, come check us out. It's on Court and Main Street in downtown White Plains. And of course, my store is located at 187 Martin Avenue. My other announcement is, am I showing? Okay, so lipstick by Imani. Let me tell y'all. Oh, I'll put it in the closet. I was cheating on my elegance with this store-bought lipstick, which shall be unnamed. And I was sick to my stomach because when I went up to Syracuse, being cute, I lost my lipstick. And I was sick because when I came back, I went to my home girl in Texas and I was like, I need another order. And she was like, I don't have any more. And I was like, what is you saying to me right now? What is you saying? So I finally got my lipstick back. I finally got my elegance back. She is Black owned. She's a sister and her lipstick is the truth. So with that said, she is having a virtual bosses brunch on Sunday, same day as the holiday market starts. Sunday, December 5th on IG Live. And your girl is going to be a part as the beauty mogul for I Design Beauty LLC. So if you are on Instagram, first of all, follow me. If you're not following me, you real whack. Follow me and come and join. She's going to have 8 bosses. I'm the first one. I think I'm the first one to go up. Right, which is why I had to do this holiday blues thing because it's been riding my back. It has been riding my back. So I knew that the Holy Ghost was on to something. But yeah, so we're doing the holiday it starts at 12. It starts at 12. I think it's at 12:30, but I'm on from 12 to 12:15. I think it's from like 12 to 3 or 12 to 4. It's on her page, Lipstick by Imani. That is her IG page. But I believe it starts at 12 on Sunday. I'm pretty sure she's probably going to have the recap, or it's the live is going to be on her page after it is done. But come and support and listen to me talk again. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So my last announcement is that I got something coming out in 2022. I'm not going to say what it is, but I did kind of talk about this ring. Wait, what? Okay, this pink diamond. I'm going to talk about this later on in the month. But it is on my right hand. It's not on my left before people start with the rumors because human beings can be very stupid and irritating. So before y'all start, this is on my right hand. But there's a story behind this, and there's something that I am launching in 2022, and I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait to share it, but I can't share it until January 1. But just know it is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a whole vibe, and I am excited. So, this concludes episode number 9. Next week, I think I'm going to do a holiday blues part 2 couples edition with my resident couple, my brother and my sister Allison and Dwayne Murray. I think I'm gonna have them come on because I don't want to just make this, and I said this in the beginning. No, it's not jewelry. Stop trying to guess. It's not jewelry. um, yeah, I didn't want to make this an isolated thing to make it look like single people are the only ones that go through holiday blues because they're not with anybody. Couples go through it as well because grief and financial lack and all of those things that hit anybody, whether you are married or single, or just depression, trauma, like whatever. It can happen with anyone. And I do want to help my married couples because as single as I am, um single as in not married yet, um I don't want to um leave out my beloved married folk because I love y'all. Because I love y'all and I've been there. Um and I want all of us to win, and I want all of us to end 2021 strong. Strong, strong, strong. Okay, so y'all keep your girl in prayer because I got a lot going on this weekend, a lot going on these next 19 days. But I will see you all next week, Friday. Take care of each other, wear your mask, wash your hands, check on someone, check your circle, check your spouses, check your friends, check everybody. I love y'all, and I will see y'all next week. Peace out.